Scary stories are like a heavy shadow that sticks to your soul and don't let go. Picture a place so far off the grid, it ain't on no map, and nobody dares whisper its name. A cursed village where once you step in, your soul's tied to an endless nightmare. Shadowy demons, bone-chilling sounds, and a deep, black water well that's like a gateway to hell itself. This is my story, a 32-year-old dude who got trapped in this hellhole and didn't get out till I was 89. You ready to dive into this darkness with me? Hope your heart can handle it. My name ain't Jacob, nah. I ain't spilling my real name 'cause it feels like they're still listening. I was 32, a thrill seeker, always chasing the next adventure with a backpack and a camera. One day, I got lost on a dirt road in the middle of some foggy-ass forest in northern England. My phone's GPS was dead, like signals were just a damn joke out there. It was getting dark, a cold wind howling through the trees, making my skin crawl. I needed a place to crash for the night. Then I spotted a narrow path leading to a village. A rusty sign by the road read, "Welcome to Shadowveil." Figured it was some forgotten hamlet, maybe with some friendly folks. Man, I wish I'd never had that stupid thought. The second I rolled into Shadowveil, it felt like a cold weight slammed into my chest. The houses were old and busted, rotten wood, shattered windows, and a stench like something dead was oozing from the ground. Candlelight flickered in some windows, but nothing felt alive. A few people shuffled down the dirt streets, but they acted like I was invisible. Their clothes were ragged, faces pale and hollow. I called out, but they just gave me this dead-eyed stare and kept walking, like walking corpses. I wanted to bolt, but where? The forest around me felt alive, the trees whispering, "Stay, stay." I found a small inn, a creaky-ass building that looked like it'd collapse any second. The owner was this old lady named Martha, with creepy white eyes, like she was blind but staring right through me. Without a word, she handed me a rusty key and said, "Your room's upstairs. Lock the door and don't listen to the sounds. If they call your name, don't answer." Her voice was like rocks scraping together. I asked, "What sounds?" She just grinned, this sickly, toothy grin showing her broken teeth, and said, "You'll find out come morning, if you're still breathing." That night, I was in my room, door locked, heart pounding like a drum. The room was pitch black, except for a tiny candle flickering on the table. I tried to sleep, but no dice. Then the noises started. First, a low whisper, like a bunch of people mumbling behind the wall. Couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like they were saying my name. Then came the scratching, like nails clawing at the wood. My skin was crawling. A long, twisted shadow slid under the door, like someone was standing right outside. My breath caught in my throat. With shaken hands, I opened the door, but nobody was there. Just a cold gust and the stink of a damn graveyard. I slammed the door shut and locked it again. The candle went out like someone blew it. The darkness felt alive, wrapping around me like a snake. Then, a gut-wrenching roar echoed from somewhere far off, like it came from the bowels of the earth. My heart was about to burst. Something slammed against the window, a hard thud that rattled the glass. I stared, frozen. A black, shapeless shadow was out there, watching me. Its red, glowing eyes pierced my soul like knives. I screamed and dove under the bed. No clue how long I stayed there, but when I finally crawled out, the shadow was gone. Morning came, and I thought it was just a nightmare. But stepping out of the inn, Shadowveil was even creepier than the night before. The people still ignored me, like I was a ghost. A dude named William, his face covered in scars, was standing by a massive well in the village square. The well was deep and black, filled with dark water that seemed to move on its own. A rotten, swampy stench rose from it. When I got close, William locked eyes with me and hissed, "You shouldn't be here. You're theirs now." Before I could say anything, he vanished, like the ground swallowed him. I decided I had to get the hell out of there. Found my car and floored it. But no matter how far I drove, I kept ending up at that damn "Welcome to Shadowveil" sign. The road was like a loop from hell. I tried over and over, but always ended up back at the start. My phone wouldn't turn on. It was like this village was in another world, where nothing made sense. A few days later, the shadows showed up for real. I thought I was losing it at first. One night in my room, I saw my shadow on the wall moving, and I wasn't. My heart was in my throat. My shadow looked alive, giving off this silent, creepy-ass laugh. Then it peeled off the wall and came at me. I couldn't move, like my body was frozen. The shadow reached out with long black hands, its icy fingers brushing my face. Felt like my soul was being sucked out. I screamed with everything I had, and the shadow vanished, but its laugh echoed in my head. After that, the shadows were everywhere. In the streets, behind windows, even in the damn mirror in my room. Wherever I went, they were tailing me. Sometimes I heard their roars, deep and demonic, like they came straight from hell. One night I saw a villager named Elizabeth screaming in the street, surrounded by shadows. I tried to help, but when I got to her, there was nothing left but a pile of ash, like the shadows ate her soul. One day at the inn, I cornered Martha and demanded, "What the hell's going on here? Why can't I leave?" Her white, freaky eyes bored into me, and she said, "Shadowveil belongs to the demons. Centuries ago, a witch cursed this land. Anyone who steps foot here gets claimed by the shadows. Time works different here, A day in Shadowveil could be years in the real world. That's why nobody escapes. I asked, "There's gotta be a way out, right?" She hesitated, then said, "Maybe. The well in the square. They say it leads to the outside world, but nobody's come back alive. That well's a gate to hell. You go in, you either get free, or you're theirs forever." Her voice shook, like she'd tried it once and failed. Months had passed, but it felt like centuries in that damn place. The shadows were getting bolder. One night, they came into my room, whispering my name. "You're ours, you're ours." Their voices were like poison in my veins. I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to face the well. The well was in the village square, huge, deep, and straight up terrifying. Its black, thick water moved like it was alive, with cold vapor rising off it. Carved symbols, like they were written in blood, circled the edge. From the well came gut-wrenching roars and screams, like 1,000 trapped souls were crying out. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it'd explode. Nobody dared go near that thing. Not even the shadows seemed to like it. There was a rotten rope by the side. With shaking hands, I grabbed it and started climbing down. The well's darkness swallowed me like a monster. The deeper I went, the colder it got. The roars grew louder, like something in the water was screaming in pain. Suddenly, something grabbed my hand. Something cold and slimy, like it crawled out of the water. I yelled and yanked my hand back, but the rope snapped, and I fell into the black water. It burned like acid, stinging my skin and shaking my bones. I swam like hell to a rocky ledge and pulled myself up. I was in an underground cave. The cave was full of broken skeletons and rotten skulls. The smell of death was everywhere. A faint light glowed in the distance. I stumbled toward it, scared out of my mind. I reached a huge mirror in the middle of the cave. In it, I saw myself, but not the 32-year-old guy I was. A broken old man with white hair, eyes full of terror, and a face that looked like it had been through hell for decades. Time in Shadowveil had eaten me alive. The shadows showed up in the cave. They weren't just shadows anymore. Full-on monsters with red eyes and razor-sharp teeth, like they crawled out of a nightmare. They circled me, laughing. One of them growled, "Thought you could escape us? This well's ours. You're ours." I was out of options. Only one thought in my head: the mirror. Maybe it was the way out. I ran for the mirror with everything I had. The shadows chased me, their roars deafening. One grabbed my arm, its claws digging into my skin. Pain shot through me like lightning. With a final scream, I threw myself into the mirror. Felt like my body was being torn apart. Everything went black. When I came to, I was on a dirt road under a gray, dead sky. A broken sign read, "Shadowveil." But this time, when I started walking, I didn't loop back to the village. I was free. Or was I? When I hit the nearest town, I realized years had passed. I was 89. The world I knew was gone. My family, my friends, everything had changed. But the worst part? The shadows are still with me. Every night, I see them in my dreams. Their roars, their demonic laughs, those red eyes that want my soul. Sometimes in the mirror, I catch a shadow standing behind me, staring. I don't know if I really escaped or if I'm still caught in Shadowveil's curse. All I know is, as long as I'm breathing, they ain't letting me go. And that well, it's still alive in my head, with its black water and those god-awful screams calling me back. Come back. Come back. When I came to, I was on a dirt road under a gray, dead sky. A broken sign read, Shadowveil. But this time, when I started walking, I didn't loop back to the village. I was free. Or was I? When I hit the nearest town, I realized years had passed. I was 89. The world I knew was gone. My family, my friends, everything had changed. But the worst part? The shadows are still with me. Every night, I see them in my dreams. Their roars, their demonic laughs, those red eyes that want my soul. Sometimes in the mirror, I catch a shadow standing behind me, staring. I don't know if I really escaped or if I'm still caught in Shadowveil's curse. All I know is, as long as I'm breathing, they ain't letting me go. And that well, it's still alive in my head, with its black water and those god-awful screams calling me back. Come back. Come back. A few months after escaping Shadowveil, I thought I'd found some peace. I'd settled in a small town near the forest, thinking I was safe from them. But one night, sitting in my room, staring at the weak flicker of a candle, I saw a shadow on the wall. Nah, not just any shadow. It was that shadow, with those red eyes and that demonic laugh. My heart started pounding like it was gonna rip out of my chest. I screamed, but my voice choked in my throat. The shadow crept closer, whispering, "My name? Jacob, come back." I didn't sleep that night. Every second, I waited for the shadows to drag me away for good. When morning came, I told myself it was just a bad dream. But when I checked the mirror, I saw a deep scratch on my arm, right where that shadow attacked me in the cave. That's when I knew they were still with me. Days rolled by, and every night got worse. One night, lying in bed, I heard a weird sound from under it, like stone scraping stone. Slow, but steady. Terrified, I flicked on the light and peeked underneath. Found a torn piece of paper covered in strange scribbles and a sentence written in blood. "You can't escape. Shadowveil awaits." My hands started shaking, and the paper slipped from my grip. Had no clue how it got there, but it felt like something was toying with me. From that day, weirder shit started happening. My stuff moved around. Doors opened and shut on their own. And every night, I heard soft whispers coming from the walls. One time, a glass in my kitchen shattered out of nowhere, without anything touching it. I couldn't take it anymore. I realized escaping Shadowveil was just an illusion. They'd bound me to them somehow. One day at the town library, I dug up an old book about cursed villages. In one section, it talked about a purification ritual with salt and fire that could banish evil spirits. I decided to give it a shot. I circled my house with salt and lit a small fire in the yard. With a trembling voice, I read the prayers from the book, not even sure if I was doing it right. Suddenly, a cold wind hit, making the flames dance. I heard a horrific roar behind me, and when I turned, I saw a shadow melting into the fire. My heart calmed down. I thought I'd won, but the next night, it got worse. The shadows weren't just one or two anymore. It was like an army of them, surrounding my house, their roars shaking the walls. Salt and fire didn't work no more. I knew the only way out was to go back to Shadowveil and face them on their own turf. Despite my age and broken body, I made up my mind to head back to that forest. With a cane and a flashlight, I set out. When I reached the dirt road, I saw that rusty sign again. "Welcome to Shadowveil." My gut screamed to run, but I had no other choice. I stepped into the village, and it was exactly as I remembered. Rotten houses, a deathly silence, and that hellish well in the square. This time, the well felt more alive than ever. Its black water was boiling, and screams and roars echoed from it. Shaken with fear, I edged toward the rim. The shadows circled me, laughing. One of them hissed, "Think you can beat us, old man?" "With all my strength," I yelled. "I ain't yours no more," and threw myself into the well. When I hit that black water, it felt like it was sucking my soul out. But this time, I didn't give up. In that darkness, I started swimming with my hands, like some strange force was pushing me. The shadows swarmed me, but I fought them off with screams and sheer will. Then I saw light, a huge mirror in the cave. In it, I saw myself, not 89, but the 32-year-old me. With a desperate leap, I dove through the mirror. When I opened my eyes, I was back on that dirt road. But this time, no sign was there. The shadows were gone. I think I'm finally free, but every night in my dreams, I still hear that well's cries. I don't know when they'll come back, but I swear I'll fight them till my last breath. This story is over, but new adventures and tales are on the way. If you enjoyed this one, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated on the next videos. And if you've got a story to share, send it our way.